It's so easy to think of the Norman conquest as nothing more than William's crossing and the Battle of Hastings in 1066. But of course, it was a much longer, more drawn-out process than that.
William's army travelled on foot and on horseback. It took time to cross England. The Saxons may not have had castles with which to oppose this invasion, but there were a handful of fortified towns, like the walled city of Exeter. It was to become the site of one of the first stone castles built by the Normans. But before that, they would have to lay siege to it. The citizens of Exeter had refused to swear allegiance to William. This is a man who is reputed to have chopped the hands and feet off the defending force of a French town for insulting his mother. William was not a man to cross, and he was marching on their city. William was marauding with an army including 500 cavalry. On the way, he laid waste to parts of Dorset, a forbidding sign for the people of Exeter. Some of the city fathers faltered at the thought and brought him hostages in exchange for striking a deal. But the people of Exeter had other ideas, and they reneged on the arrangement. William set about surrounding the city, cutting it off from supplies. The siege of Exeter had begun.
William and his army approached the city from the northeast, fording a stream called the Longbrook and riding up what is now known as Longbrook Street. At the east gate, William had one of his hostages blinded to show the citizens of Exeter what to expect, but they didn't surrender. And there's even an account that one of them took to the castle walls, dropped his trousers, and farted. The east gate has now been demolished, but you can get a sense from these walls behind me that it was once a formidable obstacle. William had his engineers dig tunnels to try and undermine the walls, and after 18 days, they partially collapsed. It was the beginning of the end for the defenders, but the siege was only broken when Exeter's bishop and his clergy took a Bible and some holy relics to William and made him swear an oath not to sack the city or harm its people.
He kept his word.
To secure his victory, William turned to the castle. He charged Baldwin, Sheriff of Devon, to build Rougemont Castle, so named for the colour of the mound it was built upon and the blocks that were used in its construction.
This gatehouse at Exeter Castle is one of the oldest Norman structures in England. It captures its moment in history perfectly.
What we have here is a pure Norman arch, but above it, two characteristically Anglo-Saxon windows. It's evidence of an Anglo-Saxon building gang working under their new Norman masters.
This marks the arrival of a brand new type of building in England. Stone castles were unlike anything anyone here had ever seen before. The Norman equivalent of the building of the pyramids.
These stone castles were utterly alien, and it's hard to overemphasize the impact of their arrival. Both literally and figuratively, they cast a shadow over their surroundings, a permanent reminder that there was a new boss in town.
The choice of where to build in stone was a carefully considered decision based on strategic importance and the ability to dominate the skyline. Like the Tower of London, designed to strike awe into the people of London. And soon it wouldn't just be the new ruler from across the Channel who erected these imposing edifices across the land.
William set about rewarding his nobles. He divided England amongst his followers and created a new class of Norman baron. Each was given permission to build a castle from which to exert their power.
They were known as the companions of William the Conqueror, men like Robert de Beaumont, who became Earl of Leicester and one of William's most trusted advisors.
From Northumberland to Cornwall, these new barons now were lords of all they could survey from the tops of their castle walls.
And where the barons chose to build their castles was just as important as how they were built. This was not just an invasion of territory, it was an annexation of England's history and its mythology.